Another day, another book scratching episode. What a slate of games we had today in the NBA, or tonight, or whatever you say. Well, I'm bumbling again. Let's get right into it. First game, OT, Wizards Heat. Let's go. And this was a wild game as well. The Heat were kinda, got off to a big, not a big lead, but got off to a lead, and they were missing a whole lot of players, so that was insane. They were missing Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Gabe Winston, Duncan Robinson. They had 7 active guys, which is crazy. What can you do, I suppose? And well, they all had to play a lot of minutes and overtime, and they just ran out of gas. As well, what can you do really? The overtime, it was like 3-2 or 5-4 or something like that in the 5 minutes. I'm not sure. I think it was 3-2, but I don't want to, say it was. Well, what can you really say about Miami? It's rough for them. Shout out to Nikola Jovic. He's looked good these last few games, so shout out to him. Kyle Lowry is looking a little better, but I mean, he played 50 minutes for God's sakes. Like, what more do you want from him, really, right? And well, Max Strus was horrible in the second half as he kind of ran out of legs, I suppose. And then you have the Wizards who are kind of on a good streak, are winning some games, have a lot of players that are contributing, and well, Bradley Beal was good today. He had 27 and 8 plus 10. He made some good shots, clutch shots. Porzingis continues to be really solid. He had 20 and 17 with 2 blocks, 5 assists. Kuzma, even though, well, he shot very poorly today, he made the one that mattered the most as he sent the game to overtime. Corey Kispert was solid once again. He's been shooting pretty well these last few games. Rui Hachimura off the bench has been shooting well. His mid-range is silky smooth. I love to watch that guy's mid-range a lot, since I love me some mid-range. Even though Steph is my favorite player and I love the game because of him, I love me some just silky smooth mid-rangers. Well, Steph has one, but Steph's not that known for it. Whatever, I'm rambling here. And a good win for the Wizards, who are now, I think, 9-7, which I mean is much better than I expected, and a lot of us probably expected. But they got a solid team, some solid young pieces, solid players. Question is, should they actually, maybe trade Kuzma, maybe trade somebody like this in the, eventually. I'm gonna make a video about that, about the teams that should probably sell but won't. I mean, I will do like a trade deadline tier list. We'll see. I don't want to tease it too much. Good win for the Wizards. Next up, we had this crazy game between the Cavs and the Hornets, which, I mean, this game was absolutely insane. We went to 2 overtimes, as it felt like the Cavs were gonna get a comfortable win after, they were on a 5-game losing streak before this game, and it felt like they needed it. Against Charlotte, it would be the perfect time, especially as they are still without, not still without, but once again are without LaMelo, who got injured last game, are without Dennis Smith Jr., who's been solid, and it just felt like a game that they should get right in, but they were, it was looking like it, they were up. They were up 10 with like 50 seconds to go, and then Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre turned into prime Steph and Clay, and it was a tie game. And then they all were losing in overtime. Darius Garland hit some clutch threes, and they got it done in the second overtime eventually, but man, was it rough. But a fun watch, especially the 2 OTs and the fourth quarter. It was a fun watch as Terry Rozier 28 and 5, 32 shots. He has the greenest of green lights. Kelly Oubre was great today, especially shooting the ball. PJ Washington 28 and 10, which is pretty solid also. Gordon Hayward played 42 minutes at 13, 6 and 7. Not bad, not great. Nick Richards continues to be great for him off the bench, which is good. Kate Jones had a great, hairstyle. Shout out to him. And the Cavs, good win. Darius Garland plus 23, 41. 6 and 5 steals, which is career high. He had way too many turnovers, but he was great offensively otherwise. Jared Allen was back. He had 20 and 12. That was great to see. 4 blocks also. Mobley 21, 18, 5 and 2. That was one of the best games I've seen him play maybe ever in his career so far, but we all know what he's capable of, and he's looking better and better every game this season to me. Donovan Mitchell was solid also, 34, 4 and 6. They have to cut down on the turnovers. 14 turnovers is unacceptable, but hopefully they will figure it out. It's been an issue. A lot of people have these issues, so hopefully it'll be fine. And the bench was horrid today, and Lamar Stevens, so hopefully they get much better bench production as well. The bench was solid to start the season, but has been kind of on a downward since, especially during the losing streak now. Next up, we had the box office game of the night. Giannis versus the ladder. Giannis versus Embiid. Wild night in Philadelphia as the Sixers beat the Bucks and are now over 500. And I was surprised, and I was surprised a lot as the Bucks. It felt like they were just gonna cruise to victory throughout the first, second quarter, even start of the third quarter. It felt like they were just the better team. They were too comfortable, and then it just flipped. The Sixers were playing better. Maybe the Bucks were a little too comfortable for their own good, and they blew it. Then the technical foul on Joel against Giannis. Giannis couldn't hit a free throw. He was 4 of 15, which leads us to the ladder incident, as they didn't want to let him shoot the free throws as he wanted to practice after the game. It was kind of painted as Giannis was the bad guy there, but in the end it was kind of, well, bad on the Sixers part, as he was kind of nice, but then Montrezl Harrell was talking like a dumbass. Giannis obviously shouldn't have reacted that way, but, well, I mean, it was a weird situation to say the least. 15 free throws, 4 makes. He better practice those even more. It was a rough night for him. 25, 14, and 4. He's been kind of sluggish since he returned from the injury, or since he was not. I'm not sure if it's it was not like a huge injury, but he was not playing some games due to an ankle injury, I think. Then Bobby Portis was solid, but well, just didn't get maybe enough shots today. Kind of when I'm looking at it now and thinking about the game, it felt like maybe he could have gotten more, but it happens. The Bucks just kind of lost it. Jrue Holiday was off the bench as he was also coming off an injury. He was sluggish also. The Bucks have to be healthy, obviously. They still looked like the clear better team throughout first half and bunch of the second half, but they just kind of felt like they got into their own head, which obviously shouldn't happen, but it happens, and it's better that it happens now than if it happened down the road, obviously. As the Sixers get a much-needed victory, and Joel Embiid continues his sensational play after his return from injury, 32, 11, and 8, but they have a consequence. They lose Tyrese Maxey as he hurt his ankle on a drive. There are no confirmation how long he's out. The MRI is happening today. If I'm sure the X-rays were negative, so that's a good news. Hopefully he's fine. He kept them single-handedly in the game throughout the first half, so the win is hugely thanks to him also. Hopefully he'll be fine, and he is back as soon as possible. Fuck Montrezl Harrell, man. This guy is fucking garbage. I just had to put it out there. Georges Niang played a great game. He's been sensational. Shake Milton had a great game today. He stepped up for Tyrese Maxey throughout the second half, and so overall was great. Shout out to these guys. And good win for the Sixers. Then we had the Magic winning on a game winner against the Bulls, as the Bulls are now 6-10 and on a losing streak, I think. I'm pretty sure they lost last 4 games at least. Well, the Bulls are just on a downward spiral. The Magic continue to be pretty fun to watch, actually. Ball, 15-10. He's been fun to watch. Wendell Carter against Chicago. The trade looks even worse and worse every moment passing, as Wendell Carter was 21, 8, and 5. Even though he had 5 turnovers, he was sensational. Franz Wagner was sensational. Jalen Sachs wasn't great the whole game, but he turned up in the clutch, which he's, done a few times this season. He was great. He hit the game winner. The bench was solid. The Magic are a lot of fun, and even without Paolo Banchero, they've been putting up some wins in together. They are now 5-11. They are just 1 game behind the Bulls, which is crazy to think about. And the Bulls are... well, what they are. The Bulls are rough. I've been praising their bench a lot, and well, Andre Drummond and Derrick Jones weren't great in their minutes today. It was not their fault today. It was mostly Zach LaVine just being horrible, as he was benched down the stretch, and as he should have been, because he was bad. 4, 5, and 2, 1 of 14, probably his worst night as a star player. And well, DeMar DeRozan did what he could. But 41 points on 30 shots. He was great, but this was just not enough. Nikola Vucevic missed 2 free throws down the stretch. Then Sachs hit the 3-pointer. It felt like they were going to win, especially after the Javonte Green dunk. That was absolutely incredible. That was sensational dunk. And they just blew it, man. They just blew it. It's rough. They should 100% blow it up. There has been a lot of talk about that, but as you know, if you watch King of the Fourth Quarter, he thinks they won't because the front office might be too prideful, which probably is. We'll see around the deadline. We'll see. Maybe they could. But right now they are a rough spot for the Bulls. Next up we had the Pacers, the Frisky Pacers, who are now 8-6 as they defeat the Rockets in Houston. And this was a weird game since the game started. There was almost no one in the audience, and well, Houston traffic is bad, you know. So the Houston Rockets got off to a huge lead. I'm not sure what it got to, but Eric Gordon was outscoring the whole team. That was incredible, and then they just gradually couldn't make anything essentially, and the Pacers got back into it, took control of it, and won. The one unfortunate thing is Tyrese Halliburton got hurt throughout at the end of the fourth quarter, and it appears he'll be fine, but it was an ankle turn, and he spoke to the press. He said he's been, he feels pretty okay. We'll see how it feels today, obviously, since it's could be a swollen ankle. Hopefully he'll not be out for too long, because the Pacers are actually a pretty good team. They are 8-6. They're winning some games. They're competitive in their losses. So it would be a shame if they, couldn't have their best player, who hit some clutch shots once again. He was great. O'Shea Brissett was great off the bench. Benedict Mathurin didn't shoot well, but he was once again as impactful as anyone. 15-4 and 2 steals. He's been sensational. We all know it. Miles Turner has been great. Jalen Smith was great. They just got a likable team to me, and a fun team with really some solid upside, solid players. Then for the Rockets, Eric Gordon had his best game in a while. Hopefully he'll get traded to somebody from here. Jalen Green was bad today. At least he got to the free throw line, made 12 of 15. That's good. 16 points. I said he had 2 games in a row, and I was saying maybe he'll finally be more consistent. Well, I was wrong. Jabari Smith once again stays inconsistent. It's been really rough for him. We know that. They were obviously missing Kevin Porter Jr. today. Well, it was a rough loss, but the Rockets are just rough overall, so what can you say, right? Then we have the Thunder losing to the Grizzlies, as the Grizzlies unfortunately lose Ja Morant, who also turned his ankle, as the ankle gods were on fire today, man. Goddamn, man. Goddamn injuries. And it was a pretty comfortable game for the Grizzlies. The Thunder were hanging around for most of the game. They made some pushes. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander unfortunately picked the worst time to have his worst game of the season, but it was due. No player will have all 82 games great. There's just no way about it. It had to come at some point probably, and it unfortunately was tonight, where if he probably was the normal himself, they would have won, but it happens. The Thunder got some good things to be excited about. Josh Giddey has been getting it even more and more together. He's been great these last few games. Pokusevski's been playing some solid basketball. Jalen Williams been playing some solid basketball. Aaron Wiggins. Just some things to be excited about. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, who's been sensational off the bench also. A lot of good young pieces. They're playing good basketball, which is all that matters right now, right? And they're competitive. It's not looking like they're tanking, which is also good for them. And they just have to, they're just two years away probably. As the Grizzlies lose Ja Morant late in the game. Hope he's fine. I've not seen any reports how long he's, what the timetable is or anything. Probably hear about it today. I'll tell you all tomorrow about it. And he was not great today, but he still made a hell of a good plays. But then he got hurt, and it was just unfortunate, as this game was pretty fun, and it kind of sucked the fun out of it. Sandy Aldama, Tyus Jones off the bench were great. Jaren Jackson had in his second game back was great. 25-12, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Just what you want from him. Dylan Brooks made some clutch shots. John Conchar is one hell of a player. Shout out to him. You need players like John Conchar on your team every goddamn, day of the week. I would take him anytime. 19-10. Great stuff for the Grizzlies at 10-6, but they'll probably be without Ja and Bane for some time. Ja could be back maybe sooner, but we don't know yet. And from what it looked like, you're not comfortable saying they won't be. And it's rough, since they've been up top there. up top of the Western Conference, and they're gonna be without their two best guys. But if any team can survive, survive without that in a not that horrible of a spot, it would be the Grizzlies to me. Next up, we had the Nuggets against the Mavs, as the Mavs blow out the Nuggets, who were without Nikola Jokic, who I think has been ill, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure, but it's been some illness, injury, I think. Injury, you know what I mean? And Jamal Murray was out also, so that's fucking sucked. And they got blown out. It was a tight game for a bit, but the Mavs just got separation, never looked back. Just a rough game for the Nuggets. Luka was sensational, 32, 12, and 11 as he's settling himself up top to MVP convo. They shot a little better, 40% from the field. Some players shot much better, than they had these last few games. Much needed for the Mavs. Christian Wood, 28 and 8 off the bench. Good stuff for him. JaVale McGee had his best game also, which is what they need since they paid him like $10 million a year. And a good win for the Mavs. That was necessary against a depleted Nuggets team. Then we have the Celtics, who are looking like, man, they look scary. They are so good. Jason Tatum wasn't even playing, wasn't a great today offensively, but man, oh man, they are so scary. Jason Tatum shot just 6 of 18 from the field, 19, 7, and 10. Still impactful, still plays great defense, just didn't have his shot today. Jaylen Brown was great, 27, 10, and 7, 10 of 20, 3 of 6 from the 3. Sensational play. Derek White had 26 points. Sam Hauser still shoots some threes. They got so much firepower going, man, and it's incredible. It's incredible. They've been playing some great basketball. You would have thought that the Ime Udoka stuff and everything around it could have derailed their season, but it feels like they're even stronger. They're looking like a 16 team. There's no way about it. They're looking like they're on a mission, and they're scary, man. Then we had, to me, the best game of the night, since this was one hell of fun, as the Suns lost to the Jazz in Utah. In offensive, if you can call it just offensive, it was one hell of an offensive game from both sides. The Jazz got off to a huge lead, then the Suns came back, countered, and it was tight. Since then, it was back and forth up till the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter was back and forth, and the Jazz just got away with it as Devin Booker got a little cold at the end, as he was sensational throughout the first 3 quarters, then a little, probably tired from how much he was carrying before. DeAndre Ayton continues to be a disappointment to me, as he just doesn't have the motor, or whatever you want to call it, the competitiveness. He just doesn't go as much as you would want him to for the whole game, man. 17 and 10, 8 assists. He was looking dominant, and he just didn't basically touch the ball enough. I don't know, man. Just a rough night. Torrey Craig, 16 points. 13 points for Mikal Bridges. They were great. D-Book was great. Just didn't have enough today. As the Jazz were better. Lauri Markkanen, 38, 6, and 3. 15 of 18. Incredible play from him. He hit a tough fadeaway turnaround down the stretch and put them up 3, which basically iced the game. Malik Beasley off the bench was great, shooting the ball. Jordan Clarkson was great. He hit a tough shot also. Tough clutch shot also. Jared Vanderbilt was great, 6, 11, and 8. He was playmaking, which I didn't see, man. I would love him on the Warriors. I'm just saying. Great win for the Jazz, as they are 11 and 6, still atop of the Western Conference. Then we had my Warriors picking up a good win against the Knicks, as they moved to 7 and 9. And the Knicks just have a rough one, as RJ Barrett has been horrible these last 5 games. He had 18, 4, and 5, 6 of 19 shooting, bad stuff from him. Julius Randle was okay offensively, but didn't do enough. Jalen Brunson had his first really bad game as a Knick. Didn't pick the best time for it. Jericho Sims was impressive for me, the most of the Knicks, as he was great today. And, well, the Knicks just had a rough night. Most of the guys just had a rough night, so bad for them. And the Warriors played their part in it, as they played some solid defense. They had a team meeting where Draymond told to Clay, who, has been shooting the ball a little too much and also just took bad shots. So there's that. And it was a great win, as Steph was great. He was in his point guard bag. Clay took the shots he needed to move the ball, ran around a little more. It was great to see him play great. Draymond was great today also. Wiggins was great. And the bench was not great, but at least some solid minutes from Jamal Green, who looked like, man, in Phoenix, he looked like he needed to be kicked off the team. He looks solid. Still some struggling from the bench, even though I wouldn't put like Dante DiVincenzo there, who I really liked his play. And Kuminga was pretty solid to me also today. But we need the pool to figure it out. And then the Warriors are ready to take off, man. The Warriors are ready to take off then. And last but not least, we had the Lakers getting their second win in a row as they are now 4-10 as they beat the Pistons. And it was looking like another bleak night for the Lakers as they were getting kind of cooked by the Pistons, but they got back into it. They slowed them down, then took control in the third quarter, never looked back. It was tight, it was back and forth, but the Lakers were in control for most of the game then in the second half. Pistons are just, their shooting is rough, 32% once again from the three. Killian Hayes had his best game ever, probably, in terms of offensive production. 18 points, 9 assists, 50% from the field. Never seen him act like this. Jalen Duren, 21 minutes. Wanna see more of him. He was good, 12 and 8. Alec Burks was great off the bench. Hamidou Diallo was great off the bench, but, well, Sadiq Bey has been a little off these games. Jaden Ivey had also pretty bad games, so there lies the problem. And for the Lakers, AD, 18 of 21 from the free throw line, which is great. He was great today, 38, 16, 4 blocks. The AD the Lakers need if they want to be anything to this year. Probably not, championship team right now, but they at least this is a step in the right direction, obviously. Russ was solid off the bench playmaking-wise. Vanyan Gabriel gave them 15 on 5 of 5. Kendrick Nunn gave them 10 on 4 of 4. Some stuff you want to see from the Lakers as they are at least trending in a better direction than they looked. And a good win for them, even without LeBron still. And that will wrap it up today, right? Yep. And we got some games tonight. So, yeah, we just have a 5-game slate, which is nice. Raptors, Hawks. I'm looking forward to that. T-Wolves, Sixers should be also fun. Jazz, Blazers should be fun. Clippers, Spurs. Magic, Pacers. Some cool games. Hopefully we get some tight games, some fun games. And I'll be here to cover them all with another Box Score Watching episode tomorrow.